Welcome, guys. Thank you for coming out. My name's Eddie Furth.
And I'm Ryan Pigg.
Tonight is Saturday night, November 29, 2014. And on this night in history, we roast Abraham Lincoln.
It's going down.
We have some great comedians coming up for you guys tonight. We've got Caitlin Berg. We've got the ever funny Jamar Neighbors. We've got John Ungaro. And the wonderful Pat Reilly, guys. We have a wonderful lineup for you tonight. Ryan, before we get started, will you give them a little explanation as to what historical roast is?
Sure, yeah. Basically, historical roast is we get a historical figure, bring him here, and roast his ass off.
Woo!
With a bunch of comedians. We're like Bill and Ted's Excellent Adventure, but instead of trying to get like an A+, we're just making fun of them. Yeah.
I like that.
Yeah.
So tonight we've got Abe Lincoln.
Yeah, you know why, right?
Tell me a little bit about Abe Lincoln.
All right, well, he was a Sweet 16 president. And, that's good. He had a lot of death in his life, though.
I held his panties up.
You what?
Like Sweet 16, like 16 candles.
I didn't know they did that.
I did that.
Movie.
I did that.
You're much older than me.
I did that. So 16
I was
candles.
Born in 2003. And so...
What I find amazing is I watch a lot of documentaries, which is really just code for I'm a stoner.
Yeah.
And when I've been watching, I found a lot of really interesting facts. Like what you told me was there's like this whole period of his life before he was president where life just kind of sucked for him.
Yeah, he went to school.
Wait, hold on. You said he sucked?
Hey, easy now.
He didn't suck. His life sucked. There you go. So we're on the same page.
Don't worry. We're gonna roast We're gonna roast him. Don't you worry. Yeah.
So Ryan, what were some of the different things that he had to face before he was president?
He only went to school for 18 months, taught himself everything, taught himself how to be a lawyer. He's important too. And guess what? He had 4 sons, 3 of them died. One at 18, one at 11, one at 3.
This was all before he was president.
A little bit. It was scattered. Do you want only before president? Because it's a lot of just really sad shit.
like to think to myself that even Abe Lincoln struggled a bit before he hit it big, you know?
Yeah. Oh, a lot, yeah. And so, like, guys, it's just really all
we
about
do
Lincoln
always
tonight.
think that, ma'am. Thank you.
I know.
I do. I appreciate it.
Oh, speaking of men, he was also for women being able to vote. He was one of the first presidents to kind of come out and say
He
that.
supported suffrage. Guys, round of applause for Abe Lincoln supporting suffrage.
Yeah. Emancipation Proclamation. The list goes on.
One of the things I found most interesting that I didn't know until you told me this the other day was, do you guys know that Abe Lincoln was actually the president who signed into law Thanksgiving as a national holiday?
You're welcome.
Round of applause.
Something to be thankful for.
We celebrate Thanksgiving because Abe Lincoln wrote it into law that Thursday should be a day of thanks, which I find really ironic because that means he's responsible for Black Friday.
There it is. Yep. First one of the night, guys. Only gets better from here.
Oh man. I also went through. You guys know all the Lincoln and Kennedy coincidences, right? Like you hear that like Lincoln had a secretary named Kennedy and they were both elected to office on the same year, like 100 years apart. Do you know that most of those coincidences are actually myth? They're just completely made up.
Are you crazy? You're
Honestly,
calling our president a liar?
Like there's one that says that Lee Harvey Oswald was, he shot Kennedy in a book depository, was found in a theater, and John Wilkes Booth was just the opposite. Complete lie. And the one that I think is most interesting that was false was everyone knows that Kennedy had a secretary named Lincoln that he fucked, right? And everyone knows that Lincoln had a secretary named Kennedy, but there's no proof of that. That's a complete fallacy.
What if Lincoln was John Kennedy's ancestor because he fucked someone named Kennedy and that was her?
That's like some Prometheus origin bullshit story.
Nobody
understands that
I can
one.
Sell that to someone.
I don't know. I was disappointed because all of those coincidences, I based my whole life believing that shit was true, that there were coincidences between the presidents. I'm serious. Like, I made key life choices. Like, my dream was always to marry a Kennedy and build a log cabin. You know? My backup plan was to buy a Lincoln and become an alcoholic, so.
You're almost there.
Oh. Halfway.
Halfway there.
Halfway.
Oh, he had a dream that he was going to die. That's another fact.
Did he?
Before he died, obviously, he had a dream. He had a dream that he was going to die. He came downstairs and he saw like a coffin. And he's like, who died? And he's like, it was the president. He's like, that's me. And then he woke up and died. Well, later, He told people like, I think I'm going to die.
He fucking woke up dead.
Yeah.
Holy shit. God, I think we should bring him out. You guys want to see our special guest? You guys, you know him from the Emancipation Proclamation. Mm-hmm. You know him from the Gettysburg Address. He's an Oscar winner, right? He's a vampire hunter and a zombie hunter.
Zombie hunter, too.
You've seen him on the $5 bill and the penny. Ladies and gentlemen, give a big round of applause to President Abraham Lincoln.
Thank you, my Americans, for your support. It's great to be here in California. Little known fact, when California became a state in 1850, it was created to anger Southerners. And it's great to say that you can keep your traditions alive by angering Southerners now. I appreciate your legalized hemp. I appreciate your love of, your support of gay people and lesbian people.
All right, okay, that's okay. That's all right. I just saw a guy run by and take a picture of you and then run off like he didn't even question it. Like he saw a ghost of Abraham Lincoln.
What is a picture? I do not know what you're talking about.
What are you talking? You were in a bunch of pictures. I think they took pictures. Pretty sure they had that.
My boy,
97%
my
sure.
boy, in my age, they were called the daguerreotype. Get them right.
Okay. All right, so we have some pre-roast questions for you, if that's all right.
Sure, not a problem.
All right. First one, how was this year's Thanksgiving for you?
I spent this year's Thanksgiving being reanimated, being brought back to life in a Mason's Lodge in Chatsworth, California, as part of an Illuminati plot to... Wait, I was being too honest. That's a character flaw of mine. I apologize.
Abe, speaking of your honesty, is there any portion of either your presidency or your private life that you're kind of nervous that the roasters might touch on tonight?
I hope that I am open to anything, but I hope they do not touch upon the sore subject of my 3 deceased sons. But they can make fun of my 4th son. He is worthless. He decided to go to acting school. Joke's on me, I was assassinated by one.
All right.
It's coincidence.
For your next question, and they told me not to ask this. This is your final question. It's really hard. We really want you to answer it. What is under your hat?
My massive intellect.
Kind of knew that.
Also meat products.
There you go. President Abraham Lincoln, everybody. He will be roasted tonight. Brave soul, yes. Everybody like it.
Abe, you can take a seat right here. Guys, this is a brave man. I really admire you for coming to the theater knowing we were going to take shots at you. I think it's time for our first roaster.
Like you got assassinated.
Spoiler
alert.
I think it's time for our first roaster.
I think so, too.
You want to bring her up?
Yeah, absolutely. Next comedian, she stepped in when we needed her. The very funny, the very hilarious. Caitlin Berg!
Oh, thank you. Is this where I stand, or? Okay. Hey, everyone. Just so you know, I don't even like voting, so no thanks. So it's been 2 days since Thanksgiving, as you guys all know. Turkeys call it the purge. We're all still regretting everything we ate, obviously, on Thursday. It's not normal to eat 3 servings of mac and cheese covered in mashed potatoes during a long family party. And your body knows it's not normal because you're from Los Angeles. You don't eat carbs. The only carbs you have are in your earthquake readiness kit. So all of us are trying to get back on our juice cleanse, and I think it's a perfect time to turn our anger and frustration and maybe diarrhea towards this guy, the guy who invented Thanksgiving, made it a national holiday, Abraham Lincoln. Was Abraham Lincoln really honest, Abe? Sure, he abolished slavery. He also sentenced us to eating green bean casserole and pretending that we like each other for an entire day every year for the rest of our dreary lives. Abraham Lincoln, some of you may know him as Daniel Day-Lewis. The Oscar-winning actor in the 2012 snooze fest Lincoln. Some of you may know him as a vampire hunter from the other big hit of 2012, Abraham Lincoln Vampire Hunter. Some of you may know him from walking around LA. He's the only president who's ugly enough to inspire 90% of the hipsters in Silver Lake. Some of you may know him from seeing his sarcastic smile on the coin that haunts your purse and your coat pockets like a creepy, unwelcome ghost, the infamous useless penny. Pennies, so useless we'd rather throw them in a mildew-crusted fountain in the middle of a shopping mall filled with sad people who are all wishing they could turn that Abraham Lincoln coin into Benjamins. Abraham Lincoln didn't like to be called Abe, by the way, so let's call him that forever. What is he gonna do about it? Write a proclamation? He can't. He is extremely dead. He is so dead that looters tried to steal his corpse in 1876 and get a ransom for it, and the government was like, gross. We don't want that. The only person who seems to have been obsessed with Lincoln was the woman next to him when he was shot. She got covered in his blood, never washed the dress, took it home, put it in the closet, probably next to all of her period panties. Yeah, it's real. Lincoln was too busy trimming his beard and saving a country to prevent most of the people in his life from dropping dead. Lincoln's mom was so into drinking milk, she died from it. Milk poisoning. That's real. Lincoln's first girlfriend was so hot, she died of typhoid fever. Lincoln's sons were so sick of looking at his face that 3 out of 4 of them died by the age of 18. Lincoln was so good at making his legacy last, the last living descendant died in 1985. If Abe had gone to my middle school, he would have been the lowest scoring player in the game Oregon Trail. Yeah. Abe was distant with many of the women in his life, but very close to the men, which is why one historian has been running around calling him gay for years now. Was Lincoln gay? We will never know. Maybe he will never know either. But we do know he wrote a lot of poems about men marrying each other. Then again, who hasn't? He also loved wrestling and was obsessed with cats. After beating an opponent in one wrestling match, he said to the audience, "I'm the big buck of this lick. If any of you want to try it, come on and wet your horns." Gay or straight, anyone who urges strangers to come wet their horns is probably up to something freaky. At 6'4", Lincoln was our tallest president. He was so tall he could see his assassination coming 3 days away. He was the first president to have a beard, and I'm not just talking about his wife, Mary Todd. Lincoln had so many dead sons, the only way to create a legacy for himself was to get assassinated. Lincoln stored his important documents. This is true. He was a very technologically advanced president. He actually stored his important documents in his stovepipe hat. Once while he was riding his horse, he was actually shot by a wannabe assassin, but the assassin missed and hit his hat. Definitely ruined his hat, but all of the half-finished Sudokus and crossword puzzles that he was saving for later was really the disappointment. After one assassination attempt, you'd think Lincoln would have changed to a lower-profile hat. Maybe a less obvious fedora or a baseball cap that didn't scream, "Shoot me." But then where would he keep his diary? Abe's legacy isn't about policy, it's about accessories. We all know that. He's the only president who had time for haberdashery. But why couldn't he make time to moisturize his face? Why? How about some oil for those beard flakes? Or are you just gonna flake all over everyone? Abe, you look dry. Very dry. On the night he died, Lincoln's trademark hat, like a shining beacon for all wannabe assassins, was found on the ground next to where John Wilkes Booth shot him in the head. This might have been the one real time that wearing a beanie could have saved someone. If only he had disguised himself like an LA person who doesn't understand winter. The last thing I'm going to say about you, Abe, is the American people hated you so much they even wanted your dog dead. They killed Fido, who was already a victim of looking at your face for 10 years. Thank you so much!
Ladies and gentlemen, the ever funny Caitlin Berg. You really do haunt my pockets. Pennies are useless, man. I feel like for as great a president as you are, we should honor you with something like a better denomination. Like, we should make the first 99-cent coin and slap your face on it. That'd be great. Guys, this next comedian coming to the stage is a free man. Give it up. Give it up for Jamar Neighbors.
Thank you. Thank you. Hey. All righty. Cool. Cool, man. What's going on, guys? I just wrote this stuff. So that means only 2 of them are funny. Let's see what I know about Abraham Lincoln. Your wife was Mary Todd Lincoln. Yeah. As fat as that bitch was, she needed 3 names. What's under the hat? Your dignity? I heard you were secretly gay. How's it feel to be 3/5 the man I am? You took a bullet in the movie theater so that niggas like me can talk in the movie theaters. You're on the $5 bill, which means niggas just start knowing who you were. You're on the penny, which means niggas been knew who you were. John Wilkes Booth shot Tupac. Your wife's eyes are closer than niggas after Mike Brown got shot. Your sideburns look like they stink. No. I'll never forgive Lee Harvey Oswald for killing Biggie Smalls. I heard the gay rumor about you, man. I heard Mary Todd used to wear those big dresses to parties, and whenever you got horny, you'd crawl under there, and there'd be a midget under there with his dick out. So stupid. Hey, man, he wasn't just a president, all right? He was a magician too, until a dark experience at a kid's birthday party when he pulled out his son's obituary out of his hat. I'll never forget a DC sniper for killing Martin Luther King. I heard you were a drug user too, and I heard the only reason Booth shot you with a real gun is because you sniffed all the powder out his musket. Yeah, it was whatever. Your fourscore speech was so dry, Bill Cosby slipped at a roofie and tried to fuck it. I've watched the movie Lincoln backwards at least 30 times, hoping that it would go all the way back to the beginning, me asking for my $30 back. Shit was so fucking boring. All right. That's why, nope. I did that one. You took a bullet. Yeah, I did that one. You're on a penny. Your wife's ugly. That's it, man. Wait. Maybe I can just look at him and say some shit. Yo, why you dress like a vampire? Fuck you, man. Hey, man, look, man, thanks for the freedom and thanks for everything you did for me and my people. You're one of the greatest presidents of all time. Thank you.
Jamar Neighbors! Let's hear it. You doing okay? All right, because we have a guest roaster coming up. He's an actor, very handsome actor. Got his PhD at NYU. He teaches at UCLA. He's dating Ashley Benson. Watch out behind you. It's John Wilkes Booth!
This is my hand. This is my hand. This is my hand. This is my hand. Oh, no, it's just my hand, seriously. Just my hand. Just my hand, everybody. How's everybody doing tonight? Awesome, awesome. We are here to roast this man, Abraham Lincoln, which is fantastic because he ended slavery, and there is zero racial tension going on right now. Absolutely fantastic. As I stand here today, I wonder, why am I standing here today? He's Abraham Lincoln. I'm John Wilkes Booth. I won. Seriously, Mr. President, you're sitting here in a theater where anyone could sneak up on you. Have you learned nothing? This guy, I love him. Wrestling's fake, bro. Let's take a look at the man. They call him Honest Abe. Honest Abe. This is an honest man sitting before you today. He was so honest that he became a lawyer, the most honest profession there is, even though he didn't have a law degree, which is fine. Because we all know in the court of law, nicknames are just as good. So after a very long career as a very honest, very unlicensed, very illegal lawyer, he took on an even more honest career of being a politician for the Republican Party. Thank you. Thank you. President Lincoln also, as Eddie told you guys, he started Thanksgiving. So for all you blue state Yankees who love pointing out that Thanksgiving is a holiday that celebrates genocide, just remember it was started by the man who ended slavery. Yeah, now you don't know what to think. Now you're probably all wondering, why did I assassinate President Lincoln? I had everything going for me. I was an A-list actor. This face opened plays. Some of my favorite real-life plays that I opened were Our American Cousin, Hot Corn, The Octoroon, and my personal favorite, The Jewess of Toledo. These are real plays that I opened. I played Hamlet, and I was good. I was the best Hamlet there was. I had women just lining up around me. Why did I assassinate the president? Simple. It was performance art. Presidential assassination was the greatest art installation ever put on by an actor. They're still talking about it today. So good luck, James Franco. Good luck, Shia LaBeouf. Good luck, Marina Abramovic. Good luck with your getting a PhD. Good luck with your acting in a movie with Disney harlots that's basically Girls Gone Wild. Good luck with your installation of sitting in a room and doing nothing all day. I assassinated the president for my art. And it was perfect. But seriously, though, ending slavery, what a cheap way to make black friends. Thank you. I'm John Wilkes Booth.
Yeah.
It's not many people who get a chance to confront their own murderer, huh?
That was really. You guys were so awkward when I said John Wilkes Booth was coming out. You guys were just like, okay.
Round of applause. Who knew John Wilkes Booth was the assassin of Abraham Lincoln before he came out? So not all of you.
You're all pretending.
Not all of you. I think it's time that we give Honest Abe the chance to tell everyone what he thinks of what's been said tonight, and certainly
he'll be honest. I'm sorry, did I say that from you?
I mean, that was good. I like that.
Stepped on all over it.
So, ladies and gentlemen, bringing to the stage next, big round of applause, your 16th president, Mr. Abraham Lincoln.
Score 9 years ago, this footlicker right here assassinated me. And now, John Wilkes Booth, I am going to burn you like General Sherman. I'm going to leave you a smoldering ash, but first, I want to address a few luminaries that are in the audience. First, I would like to address John Breckinridge, the man that I ran against in the 1860 election, which I won. John Breckinridge, you look like what would happen if John Quincy Adams and his pet alligator had sexual congress. You, John Breckinridge, are uglier than Ulysses Grant's liver. You are so ugly, John Breckinridge, that even Walt Whitman wouldn't consort with you in bed. And I'm not saying that Walt Whitman is promiscuous, but Walt Whitman's bedchamber looks like the Chicago stockyards, full of bad meat and burly men. Song of myself, it should have been written on Kleenex tissue, because I haven't seen so much wanking in my entire life. Also, Stephen Douglas is here. Indeed, boo. Stephen Douglas looks like if they cut the legs off of John C. Reilly and turned him into a garden gnome. I whooped your ass, Stephen Douglas, but you had to pander with popular sovereignty. What a hack. Ulysses S. Grant is here. I mentioned Ulysses Grant. Don't clap for him. The only thing he was successful in reconstructing in the South were the whiskey stills. I'm not saying that Ulysses Grant was drunk, but it took the classical Homer's Ulysses to find 10 years to find his house after the Trojan War. It took Ulysses Grant 10 years to find his wallet after the Civil War. You drunk toe rag. I hate you. They put your face on the $50 bill as a tribute to its uselessness. You won the Battle of Vicksburg, but your secret plan was to breathe on the Confederate troops and make them pass out. You drunk. John Wilkes Booth, I turn to thee. Little known fact, John Wilkes Booth tried to assassinate me in a theater before. You tried to. I saw your production of Richard III. And I almost shot myself in the head. Shut up. I'm not done yet. John Wilkes Booth played Romeo in Romeo and Juliet. And I heard you were so bad that after you poisoned yourself, Juliet just walked away. You also played Mark Antony in a touring production of Shakespeare's Julius Caesar. I heard you were so bad that the people that played the Roman Senate wanted to stab you instead. After you, shut up. I'm not done with you yet, you snide little twig. You foot licker. Oh, I am a great American. I'm acknowledged as a great American by historians and political leaders and great luminaries. You're considered a great American by people that sire children with their cousins and wear tinfoil for hats. Don't give me none of that. When you killed me, you quoted Brutus after he assassinated Julius Caesar. You're not even good enough to ad-lib correctly, you hack. If you were to, the only fitting Roman for you to quote was Caligula, because you're a pervert. And you probably have sexual congress with horses as well. And then you klutz, you broke your leg when you tried to run away. You couldn't even do your own stunts. Let me tell you something, John Wilkes Booth. You say that your assassination of me. You tried to assassinate me from the back because you know if you assassinated me from the front, you couldn't handle this. I am an Illinois State Wrestling Champion. I was the first National Wrestling Alliance champion. A belt that was held by greats like Harley Race and Ric Flair and Chris Benoit. Wait a minute, I shouldn't have mentioned him. But I'm a fighter. Listen here, John Wilkes Booth. I have split logs that were bigger around than you. I have. You say your assassination of me was part of an act. Well, let me tell you something, John Wilkes Booth. I'm going to put on an act myself. I, Abraham Lincoln, am playing Richard the First. And I am going to cut you down to size, for you are playing Prince John. And I'm going to take my trusty axe, and I'm going to get my retribution.
Whoa! Look in your heart. Baby. Look in your heart. Please, Mr. Lincoln, just look in your heart.
Okay.
All right?
All right.
Just come on. Just you work this out. It's been hundreds of years. Hundreds of years.
I can't.
Turn around, you scallywag.
I cannot.
Turn around, you scallywag.
I cannot. Don't call me that.
You can keep your pennies. I have indie cred. What do you have?
Don't fuck with me! Don't mess with me!
I mean, that's a rebuttal, guys. Ladies and gentlemen,
There's French fries in
Abraham
here.
Lincoln and John Wilkes Booth, Pat Reilly and John Ungaro. Let's give them a big round of applause, guys.
I would like to thank you, fellow Americans. I apologize for my temperament. My Marfan syndrome was acting up. You have a wonderful Thanksgiving holiday, because I created it, motherfuckers!
Wow.
Guys, Abraham Lincoln and John Wilkes Booth, let's give them a big round of applause.
Big round.
Guys, you have a good time tonight?
There's a rabbit in here.
Thank you guys so much for coming out to Historical Roast. If you haven't yet, like us on Facebook and follow us on Twitter @Historical Roast. Let's give a big round of applause to our comedians tonight, guys. Caitlin Berg.
Jamar Neighbors. Keep it going.
John Wilkes Booth. John Ungaro himself.
Amazing actor.
And Mr. Abraham Lincoln, Pat Reilly. Guys, thank you so much. Historical Roast, teaching history a lesson. Good night, guys.